Hey everybody, long time no see. It's work from home Friday the 13th. So what's up with this whole Friday the 13th thing anyway? Well, most people will tell you it has something to do with the Last Supper of Christ because there were like 13 people at the table, but as near as we can figure that happened on a Thursday because you see we know Jesus was crucified on a Friday, Good Friday, because the Jews were in a big hurry to get it over with before the Sabbath, and the Sabbath starts on Friday night because the Sabbath is really Saturday, but see in a Jewish culture the day ends at sunset and starts at sunset, so really sunset was the Sabbath. But I digress. Anyway, we do know that at least in Western culture, this is why 13 is an unlucky number. But oddly enough, in Italy, it's not. Friday the 13th, it's Friday the 17th that's unlucky. And that's because if you rearrange the Roman numerals for 17, XVII, you can phonetically make it sound like the Italian phrase, I have lived, which is to imply that you are done living. And in Greece and in Spanish-speaking countries, it's Tuesday the 13th, because Tuesday is actually Martes, which is named after Mars, the Roman god, which is also Ares, the Greek god, which is the god of war, and because Constantinople fell on Tuesday the 13th of April in 1204 during the Fourth Crusade, and then fell again to the Ottomans on another Tuesday, but that was the 29th of May in 1453, and I don't see how that's relevant to anything, but I digress. Anyway, Friday the 13th happens on any month that starts with a Sunday, and we see it at least once, usually twice, and occasionally 3 times a year on the Gregorian calendar, which is internationally accepted to be the most accurate calendar. You see, it was introduced by Pope Gregory in 1582, and it only made tiny slight changes to the leap year rules for years that are divisible by 100. Otherwise, it's identical to the Julian calendar, which was introduced by Julius Caesar in 46 BC, and it still had the same leap years every 4 years, but no matter what, and it still had that same problem with February. Why does February only have 28 days? Well, that's because the Julian calendar is based on the Roman calendar, which more or less just alternated between 29 and 31 days every month, and then it had this weird like leap month that they would throw in there, just basically whenever a politician wanted to rule longer. Yes, really. But I digress. Anyway, it's possible that Friday the 13th was considered unlucky all the way back into the Middle Ages. We know that 13 was considered unlucky back then, and Friday was kind of unlucky, but it wasn't actually documented in literature until 1869. And most other supposed origin stories for Friday the 13th weren't documented until well into the 20th century, so it's possible that Friday the 13th is actually a fairly new invention, unlike these other bad omens, such as a black cat crossing your path. Because you see, in Europe during the Middle Ages, black cats were associated with witchcraft because they were supposed to be the witch's familiar spirit, which was basically the demon that helped them do their dirty deeds. Although in Ireland and Scotland, a black cat is actually good luck, because you see there's this Celtic myth that a fairy disguised as a black cat would bring fertility and blessings to a house. Although this might have been why the Christians turned the black cats into demons to persecute the witches. I don't know, this is all just guesswork, and I digress. Anyway, there are plenty of other bad luck omens in Western culture, although some of them actually make some logical sense, like you shouldn't walk under a ladder. Well, because obviously if you walk under a ladder, things are going to fall on your head. And obviously a horseshoe is good luck if you hang it right side up. If you hang it right side down, it's bad luck because, well, all of the luck falls out. And everyone knows that it's bad luck to break a mirror, but did you know why? It's because when you look in a mirror, part of your spirit gets caught in the mirror, and if you break it, then the spirit gets stuck in there forever. It's a Horcrux! And obviously you should never open an umbrella inside because umbrellas protect you from storms, and if you open one inside, it's inviting storms into the house. Oh no! And of course a bride should never walk across the threshold of her new house because there's all sorts of evil spirits that hang out outside your door, and one might cling onto her and curse the house and the marriage. Although in medieval Europe, if the bride happily and willingly walked across the threshold, it was viewed that she was a little too eager to give up her virginity. So the groom should have to pick her up and carry her in there. This is ridiculous. And there was the one about if the groom saw the bride before the wedding, and this goes all the way back to when there was alliances and arranged marriages, and if the groom saw the bride and thought she was a little bit too much of a woofer, he might cancel the deal and start a war. But I digress. Anyway, all I really wanted to say today is that I don't believe in bad luck or good luck, so go out there this Friday the 13th and just don't do anything stupid that makes your life worse. We'll see y'all next time. In Italy, it's it's Tuesday the 13th because and in
No, that was funny.
Constantinople fell on, that's hard to say. Constantinople. April in 412. Reservoir. Constantinople. Roughly on the Roman calendar, which itself as a black cat would bling 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 bling. It was considered good luck because somewhere apparently a What? The bride should never quash. Tamales. Never quack. What it tastes like? Hot dog. I had a teleprompter. That'd be cool. I could buzz through this so much faster.
No.
Damn each eyes now. Walk across the breast.